Hello, my name is Oriana Cardenas, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain the final lab of medical instrumentation. So as you can see here, we were assigned to use a GUI to be able to create a heart monitoring device. So here I'm gonna have this graph, which is gonna be the camera. So here you will be able to see me. And then here I have the webcam on and off button. So this would turn on or off the webcam. And then here, the LED is gonna change color depending on if it's on or off. So when it's on, it's gonna turn green. When it's off, it's gonna turn red. Then here, I'm gonna have the time in seconds and the frame rate. So these are two values that I'm gonna assign. Then here, this graph is gonna be the one where we can see the plotting of the intensity of the green channel versus the time in seconds. So using this graph, we're gonna be able to calculate the heart rate. So first, I'm gonna turn on the camera just to see how the rectangle is in the middle of my forehead. So I'm gonna just turn that on just to be able to adjust myself so that way that rectangle is in the middle of my forehead. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off once I had that figured out, and I'm not gonna move. So then I'm gonna assign two values for time and frame rate, and then I'm gonna click video recording start. So when I click this button and the recording starts, this LED is gonna turn on, it's gonna turn blue. So when it turns blue, this one is gonna turn green, indicating that the webcam is on. Then once it stops recording, this one is gonna turn green and this one is gonna turn red, indicating that the webcam is off. Then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and click heart rate calc, so that way I can see the graph, and then I'm gonna be able to see the beats per minute and the beats per second. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain a little bit about the code. So first, I'm gonna have the properties that are gonna correspond to the app components. Then I'm gonna have the properties that I created. Here I'm gonna have the on button. So for each button, of course, we're gonna have a different configuration, which will be this code over here. So here I use that when the off button is false, then this situation is gonna happen. So I'm gonna say that when you press the on button, the LED for the webcam on and off lamp, it's gonna turn green. And then I'm gonna have that we're gonna just set up the webcam like we have done before. Here I just have a while loop indicating that when off is true, then this will keep running. Then I'm gonna configure the off button. The off button would be, so when the off button is true, which would be this case, which is the opposite of this one, then this is gonna happen. So the video is gonna stop, and then we're gonna have that the LED for the webcam is gonna turn red when we press the off button. And then the LED for the recording, it's gonna turn black. It's always gonna stay on black when we turn off when we press the off button. And the black color is something that I decided to use for the initial situation for each lamp. So as we can see here, this one is black, this one is black, that's my initial. And then once I click this button, this will change. Once I click this button, this one would change. But as long as I don't click this button, then this slide will remain black. Especially when I click clear, this too will turn black as well, because that's my initial and my final situation. That means that nothing, when it's black, nothing is happening here. So I'm gonna go back to the code. So here I'm gonna explain, this is the longest code. We would be the one that configures the recording start button. So first I'm gonna have the recording lamp, it's gonna turn blue when video recording button is pushed. Then I'm gonna have the webcam lamp, it's gonna turn green when we push the video recording start button. So here I'm just gonna set up the webcam as I did before. Here I did it with a live update. So when I click start recording, I'm gonna try not to move. So that way the rectangle always remains on the middle of my forehead. But also you can just decide not to live update, and that's also valid. But for this one, I just decided to live update it. So here I create my for loop, and I create my for loop. So I'm gonna have that this situation here, it's gonna be I can delete this actually because I'm not gonna use it. Okay, so we're gonna have that first we're gonna get the snapshot, then we're gonna get we're gonna display the image that we obtained from before in the green channel. So the selection of the green channel can be seen here by using the two in the third one. So in the third space, then we're gonna have the average. So we're gonna use min2 function to select the region of interest. And then here we can see that this one, let me just move it a little. Okay, so we're gonna see that this one represents the X, and then this one represents the Y, and then this one will correspond to my two over here, which is the green channel. Then I'm gonna have the rectangle function again, so that way you would be able to see the rectangle on my forehead. And then it's gonna be a green rectangle that I just determined, and that will create the rectangle, so that way and you can see the area where we're gonna take, which is gonna be the region of interest. Okay, so then I can also delete this here. So we're gonna have that this ends the time collection. I use stick and talk for that to measure the time. And then we're gonna have that when the recording stops, the LED for the recording is actually gonna turn green, and the LED for the webcam is gonna turn red, which means that it's off. Then we create another button, which is the heart rate call button. That one is the one that's gonna tell us what is the heart rate in bits per minute and beats per second. So first I'm gonna use the function plot to be able to get the graph where we can see the intensity over time. So for this, I'm actually plotting the time here and then the average that we obtained from before, which is our region of interest. So you can also use animated line, but I just decided to use cloud because it's simple. So I'm gonna create an application that is called peaks just to determine the peaks. So for that, you can either use find peaks, or here I use this function here, which determines the sum of local maximum of average of the average G that we have. So this will just determine the sum of the local maximum of those points. So then we're gonna configure our BPS and our BPM. So beats per second would be, we're gonna use the run function. So then we're gonna just divide the beats by the time times the frames. So then we're gonna do the same thing with beats per minute. The only thing is we're gonna add this 60 over here, which is converting from seconds to minutes. Then I'm gonna have all the other functions. I'm gonna have the clear button. This is the configuration for that. And this one just indicates that, so this is gonna indicate that, of course, the values for BPM and BPS are gonna be 0 when we push the clear button. And then we're gonna also have that the lamp color for that's the one that it's the recording lamp, the LED, it's gonna turn black, and then the webcam lamp is gonna turn black as well, which, as I explained before, this is something that happens when nothing is actually happening in our app. We're not actually nothing is happening. There's no recording and the webcam is not on. So that explains the black color. And then this is gonna be all the other coding for this GUI. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and run the code. And I'm just gonna move this a little, make this bigger. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the camera. As you can see, the webcam LED turns green, indicating that is on. So I'm gonna go ahead and position myself. I'm gonna have the square, actually it's a rectangle. I'm gonna have the rectangle in the middle of my forehead. As we can see here, let me move a little bit more. Again, that should be fine. Just a little bit more. Okay, there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. Okay, so as you can see, the webcam LED turned red, indicating that the camera is off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and change the time and the frame rate to 10. And now I'm gonna click video recording start. So this is gonna live update what is happening right now. I'm gonna try not to move. My computer is very slow, so every time I click video recording, it takes a lot of time to record. So I'm just gonna have to wait. It takes around like a minute and a half or two. So I'm just gonna wait for that to stop recording.
A few moments later.
There, it stopped. So once it stops, we can see that the webcam lamp is gonna turn red, indicating that the camera is off. And then the video recording start, the lamp is gonna turn green, indicating that it's not recording anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and click heart rate calc. And then as we can see, we can get the graph of intensity over time, and then we can get the readings for heart rate. So I'm getting that the beats per minute is 104, and there's 1.736 beats per second. So this would be the end of the experiment. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and show you how the clear button works. So I click BME clear, and then there's no image here anymore. The graph is empty, which is supposed to happen. The bits per minute and bits per second are 0. And then we see that both the webcam LED and the recording LED have turned black as they should.